amazing. It's amazing, amazing. Bravo, bravo. How old are you?
10.
10. Wow. Okay. And your teacher was watching too, so it must be hard. And I'm watching it. So it's great and fantastic, fantastic. Do you play any other instruments? Just okay. I was asking this because that piece actually, this movement of the Bach concerto has a very, very special structure. As you probably can tell, it's sort of difficult to memorize, for example, right? It doesn't have like a tune which comes back, right? You play your opening, right? If you say to your friend which concerto you play, you will sing the opening, right? But how many times do we play that opening actually? Do we play it ever, or think about it? Does it happen in our part, or not at all? It doesn't, but it doesn't mean that it is absent from the whole from the movement, because you have it 5 times repeated in the orchestra part, which is your piano part. Your pianist is playing the 4 different parts. Have you ever seen the score? Like the score? Okay, come take a look here. So this is the score, because the piece is written for violin, right? And orchestra, string orchestra, yeah? So you have first violins, second violins, violas, and cello and basses here, okay? They play with you. So now I was looking at the score before I came here to find the places where the tune happens in the orchestra. And look, they are very, very obvious here. When you look at it, you can see it. You don't see them that much in the piano part, okay? They are hidden. Are they marked with fortes whenever they are? But they are sort of difficult to bring out, because of the other texture. When the piano plays this tune, okay, so it happens here, and then it happens again here, and every 20 measures actually it happens, okay? It happens in different keys. Your part should match it and be stronger too, which you do a little bit, because in your part it's also marked, but you probably didn't notice the tune, right? Okay, so we'll do it again, and we'll watch for the tune. But the absence of this opening phrase in our part doesn't mean we don't play some elements of it, because anytime you do tam pam da da dum, that's an element of the beginning, yeah? Tim pam da da dum, okay? And it should sound actually similar to the opening which you did in a very, very beautiful way, okay? So let's try again. Let's try again, and we will sort of stop when you will approach that place which has the tune in the orchestra. I will sort of like make the gestures here, okay? So you can get a little bit louder. But you are aware of the places when you play solos, right? Meaning that the first violins are not doubling you. The places which are marked solo in your part are the places when only you are heard with that part. In many other places which are maybe in your part marked tutti, I'm not sure whether in your edition there are marked tutti, it means that the entire violin section is playing it with you. So you actually don't need to work that hard when you play with orchestra. When you play with piano, it's a little bit different. Okay, so let's try from the beginning, okay? Let me see that nice cue you are giving. This will be your, do you have better numbers? You can maybe start either, So, in my opinion, it will not be like this. But one cue or two cues at the beginning? What do you think?
Both is fine.
One is fine? Yeah, so just make it bigger, okay? Try from the beginning. I will sort of like play along with you a little bit, okay? They play chunks of the tune. Maybe that I will play that measure. So now I played in such a way that actually I was listening and trying to react to it, you know? Can you try that measure when you come with the solo? You play from the beginning of the measure. In that measure, and I cannot see the measure number, this will be measure 39, right? The tune is coming, so probably in your part it doesn't say forte, but it should be a little bit more, because you will be covered here by the orchestra, okay? Because the orchestra just came up with the opening tune. Alright, so obviously the pianist you play with here in the school will not try to cover you, okay? But very strictly speaking, that should be a little bit more. So let's do it from the solo again, okay? And I will help you when the tune is approaching. Then that should be really very gentle piano. There's a very thin orchestration here, but he needs to come up, really.
I have a metaphor
in original, in the scored piano. In scored piano. By the way, the original scores are on internet. You can always look, okay, the way Bach wrote it, okay? If you want to tweak the dynamic or, no? So, but you are here with the part which is very virtuosic, right? Go for it, okay? Maybe that measure when it starts, beginning of that measure. Can we start from here? Start beginning of this measure. but I don't want to spend maybe that much time on these things. Maybe when you work on this, maybe you can look at these parts a little bit more, okay? And then decide. There is this, which part in your, in this entire movement is the most exciting, you think? Most dramatic or most exciting?
Well, I think like the end.
At the end? What about a little bit before and because it's ending? It's exciting? No. Where do you think it sounds a little angry, or it should sound a little angry? Look. All out of the blue, okay? Like the notes which should not be even here, yeah? And bring it out, okay? Don't try to hide it. Yeah, let's try from this whole stretch. That will be your measure number 126. You have it? Slightly different instruments and different bows, yeah? It was probably taken off the string and to give it that kind of energy, okay? Obviously, as a nice student, somewhat young still, you would not like to do it, maybe this way. But keep this in mind that as you grow, there will be more possibilities, actually, more freedom to do things, technically, okay? And do it like at the most you can, okay? There is this beautiful part before that, with the orchestra. It's somewhat thinner parts. This was around measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 105. If we can try that. I make you cue so many times. It's a good thing. Written here. What is the dynamic level in the segment you just passed?
Mezzo forte.
Mezzo forte, yeah, and then when the tune in the orchestra comes, you have to be louder. Still, okay. So don't be too soft here, okay, because it's actually a very powerful moment, okay. All right. Before I mention some other things, ask me some questions. Or if anything I said is unclear, or if you think about the ways it will help you working on this. What I said. So I was bringing out these things which are written in the score to modify your part a little bit so you are more with the orchestra part. So you are working on the entire piece rather than your solo part only, okay? Bach didn't write the solo part. Okay, he wrote the piece for the orchestra and soloists, and this was the time when the solo concertos were just starting to be written. Okay, Vivaldi was the first one, and then Bach was also one the guy in Germany who did it, right? So the solo concerto is for showing off, obviously, too, yeah? But we should always approach it as the whole composition, okay? All right. So I will give you one more chance to ask the question, and if not, I will give you some more advice. Do you have any doubts or any? No? Okay. So I was, when you played through this, I was watching you carefully, and first of all, I noticed great concentration, and then I noticed that sometimes your bow would be a little bit off track, right? And then very quickly you were back on, okay? So what makes you actually be successful in that good bow technique? What does it make? What do you have to do in order to play with the good bow grip and the straight bow, as your teacher says all the time, right? We string teachers probably said the phrase straight bow, I don't know, 1,000,000 times in our lifespan, I think, million. I don't think it's thousands, it's 1,000,000 times, okay, because it's difficult, right? So what makes you be well aware about the bow technique so the bow is working for you well? Can you pinpoint some things? How you remember?
This part needs to stay like in the same spot.
Yes.
And like your wrist has to turn.
Beautiful. So you are aware how your body actually works, right? Yeah. Are you, when you play, do you watch the bow? Do you watch the bow on the string, or you avoid doing it?
No.
You don't. Whatever works, it did work for you. Whatever worked. But the visual control also I sometimes recommend. Okay, so if it's not too close to look at the string and the bow, I would recommend. Okay. You are outgrowing this instrument a little bit, as we know, right? So soon you will be in a bigger one, but yeah, that was beautiful control, and the left hand also very beautiful setup and very beautiful control. Okay, so you can be really proud. So I would like to maybe see that part from certain place. Are we okay with time?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So let's try from that solo at measure 84. Okay. And let me watch that bow again. So go from 84 to the end. Yeah, bravo, bravo, bravo. It's difficult to stop and start again and then be asked to play again, okay? So you're doing great. This is part of our profession actually, to be able to do that, okay? So bravo, bravo. So when you work on this dynamics, okay, to make the piece having a little bit more shapes, a little bit more landscape, okay, not only flat landscape, but little mountains, little valleys, yeah, interesting things. When you work on this with the whole score, there is one more thing which you need to bring out, and you are doing it to some degree, but not enough. It's in all the stretches which you have. I'm jumping around, but let's go into the. So the down bow note. Is the leading note, yeah? It needs to be brought out, but it also has to provide a shape. Another phrase. And you were doing this nice maneuver. Look at my bow. So you were using more bow on the up bow, and it brought you here, okay? And then you were again restarting. That's the good way of doing it, okay? But did you notice the crescendo I was doing? Can we try it? This is your measure 127 with the pickup, or 126. Yes, and I hope I'm not contradicting anything which you are saying, okay? And it's actually very, very special bowing here, and it's not that easy. You are doing great, able to apply it more, okay, right away. Yeah. So bravo with this, bring more variety in the texture of it. Technically speaking, this movement is so-called, it's actually, in terms of the composition, it will be called three-part invention. I asked if you played other instruments, because if you play piano, you play Bach inventions, which have one line and then the same line, it's in another voice, and the same line in another voice. Okay, so it's a very, very complicated, and I will use the big word, polyphonic structure. Okay, polyphony is when the voices are independent. So this movement is actually extremely complicated for the composer, which we do not see that much when we deal with this, difficulty on the violin. But you seem not to have any difficulty with this. So bravo. Bravo.